Hi guys, welcome back to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie, with no fears, limits or substitutes, the bad boy of James Bond. I'm back with 00 Scooby. He's finally back in the new setting here. Okay guys, I got a big show for you here. This is crazy. This is kind of a video I never thought I'd be doing on the James Bond Show, and I think this is a video that needs to be spoken about, needs to be discussed. Now, when No Time to Die came out, there are a lot of people boo-hooing the plot of the film, and I have seen this all across online saying that nanobots, nanoparticles, blah blah blah, is a load of crap, stupid idea, would never happen, etc. Well, where do I start with this, guys? I've got to be careful with some of the language I use because we're still censored by the Gestapo out there that don't like information, true information on what's really going on in the world, going out to the people. So much is censored, it is insane. Now, at my other channel, the James Bond Show with Krazy Kajeevie, if you haven't subscribed there, guys, or if you have unsubscribed because I don't upload there anymore, please go back, please subscribe, and you can go back and check out videos there. And back on that channel, for a good 2-year period, I was talking and warning people about taking a certain medical experiment. A lot of people didn't listen. What's happening in the world now that's coming out through the CDC and VAERS and through British governments, and this is what I'm talking about now, isn't contraband anymore. This is scientific facts, medical records coming out through the governments about the epic failure, disaster and death and injury of a certain medical experiment. And that was frightening enough. And some people saw No Time to Die and compared what was going on with this medical experiment put into people, that it could spread, etc, etc. Well, the plot of No Time to Die, as you will all know, those that have seen it, and if anyone hasn't seen No Time to Die and you haven't heard spoiler warnings, and warning, there's going to be spoiler warnings in here. But the plot of No Time to Die was James Bond had to stop Safin, who had invented, or through Dr. Obachev, had invented a virus that was nanoparticles that would be targeted for a specific person by using that person's DNA. And the virus would spread through the earth. So for example, if it was to target me, and I was in Australia, and you had Joe Bloggs in America, and the virus was on him, the virus would spread from him to person to person to person, and it wouldn't kill them, right? And this is what happened in the film. It wouldn't kill people it would go on, but eventually it would go to so many people, it would spread into the destination and area that the intended target is, and it would kill them. So it was an ingenious plot, and I remember saying to people, this is not far off. Like, I would have debates online and say to people, this is not far off at all. This is something that they're probably looking at doing. Well, they have done it, and they have created it, and they are working on it, and they are developing it. And I'm going to read you some very shocking stuff. Now, I'm not going to go into massive detail on all of this. What I am going to do is give you enough information, and I'm going to leave the link in the description area below. So go in, open up the link. Now, it's an article also by the Daily Mail. It was by Ronnie Rays, and it was the Daily Mail, July 24th, 2022. So this kind of went unnoticed. I'm not sure why, but this has really gone unnoticed. And of course, it hasn't been put on mainstream news. But I think James Bond fans and any human being should know the truth of this. So please, guys, spread this video. It's not my opinion I'm giving you. It's not imagination. I'm telling you absolute facts, and I'm going to prove it to you. And you can go into the article yourself and look at it for yourself. So, I'll read you the headline of the Daily Mail was, now this was by US Representative Jason Crow, and he said, you can take someone's DNA and design a weapon that can kill them. House Intelligence Committee member Jason Crow warns people not to share health data with sites like 23andMe because it can be used to program new biological weapons, bioweapons, to target them. US Rep Jason Crow warned that the bioweapons are being made that's the target's DNA to only kill that person. So it's intended target DNA to only kill a specific person during the Aspen Security Forum. So they were discussing this. This was a security forum that went on in Aspen and had people like Jason, who's also ex-Army, Army intelligence, etc. He also served in Iraq and Afghanistan. And then you've got US representatives and Congress representatives, etc. Now, US Senator Jody Ernst, a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, said US rivals could use, this is really frightening, US rivals, and of course it's always US rivals, no, it's anyone, and of course corrupt people within the American government who are basically put in control there by, as I've discussed and I've warned people before, it is real whether you believe it or not. Get off your backsides and go and research. The Illuminati, the Freemasons are very real. If you look at the heads of WEF is World Economic Forum. You look at the heads of WEF, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Bill Gates, all of these people, and the heads of Pfizer, etc., all of these people are involved in Freemasonry, Illuminati, which is basically the satanic teachings and principles of the head of Satanism, Aleister Crowley. So they study his teachings today because he's obviously died many years ago and burning in hell now. But these people that are behind this want a one world satanic government. It's not even a secret anymore. The catchphrase for the World Economic Forum for their one world government is, and they put this on posters in Germany, "You will own nothing and be happy." They want us to eat bugs, and they want to eat prime rib steak and control everyone and put us into what's called safe cities. This stuff is real, and that's why if you look at the James Bond films, even in Spectre, Skyfall, Spectre, and especially No Time to Die, they've been pushing these elements of the New World Order. James Bond himself in Spectre says the New World Order, talks about it. This stuff's frightening. Even in 2008's Quantum of Solace, and I said this years ago, that to me, Mr. White was literally, now I don't know if the James Bond people are warning us, teasing us, preempting and telling us what's coming. I don't know exactly what they're doing. But in 2008, if you look at Mr. White, that is George Soros. And the line he says, the famous line, "You don't even know we exist." And people don't know they exist. And then he says, and we have people everywhere. And they have people everywhere. You've got your low-ranked Freemasons, your local Freemasons. And then you've got the high-up 33rd degree suckers who want a one-world satanic government to worship an antichrist. This stuff's true. Now, some could say I got balls of steel because people like David Zashitsky and Joe Darlington and being James Blob and the others, they'll never talk about this stuff, right? Because they want to talk to you about socks and underwear and free shit that they're getting. But this stuff is so important, and it's in our films that they're feeding us. And if you look at Scott Burns, right? Scott Z. Burns, who was one of the writers on No Time to Die, but then he was paid $1 million to go in and apparently punch up the script, right? But then his name was taken off it. How convenient. And then the pandemic happened, right? His name was taken off it. The pandemic happens, but Scott Z. Burns was the writer, the screenplay writer of the film starring Matt Damon, Contagion. What was about what? A coronavirus that was wiping out the world and everyone had to go into lockdown. This is what Hollywood do. They set us up, they push these things at us, and then they happen. So you guys have got to really work out, stuff your loyalty to James Bond. You want to like James Bond? Great. I love James Bond. The novels, the films, etc. But don't get so distracted by it to the point that you're not looking at this stuff, guys. Because at the end of the day, it's your lives that are going to be at stake here when you just follow the government and you listen to their bullshit and you don't do your own research and investigate this stuff. So I find that really alarming. It is just, I mean, they're really doing this stuff. This stuff is now existing. Guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you go into the description section, open up the article, have a look at it, do your own research about this as well, and ask questions, and go back and look at No Time to Die. Now, before I head off, I just want to announce again, I do have a video coming up about the original Rolex watch that James Bond wore in Dr. No. That will be coming up in the next 48 hours. I'm also working on book reviews of Live and Let Die and Moonraker. They will be coming during this week. So thanks guys for joining us. Please guys, more than anything, it's so important, share this one. Share it to groups, share it to friends so they can hear this information and go and do their own research. Please drop a like, it helps the channel, it helps get this message out there. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Keep on bonding guys, say hi to your mum, and I'll see you next time. See ya! Cheers, Scoops! Nice Scoops!